Okay, so the bucket that I showed the picture of with the little bucket next to it is all slop. I filled this little pot up with the slop, and then I'm dipping out with that little jar, putting it on this board. Got the fan blowing on it. I stir it every once in a while, um, just to just to keep it um, consistent, because it'll dry out where the fan's hitting it faster than other spots. But by tomorrow, this will be a whole lot thicker. This sat out overnight with the fan on it. You can see how much it thickened up. Some of it's dry and crunchy. Yeah, I got more liquid to add to it. As I get closer to the bottom of the bucket, I get more and more chunks. Stuff that's starting to get thicker. It's all drying in the bucket. Stuff on the board onto the fan dries the fastest, obviously. And I'll just try to get as much off my fingers as I can. Because every time you gotta wash them, you're losing just a little bit of clay. Okay, I have the whole bucket on here now, and what I do is, as it starts drying, I kind of make a indentation in the center and put the more liquid stuff in the center, and that way it keeps it from making a big mess. I just slowly add to it, and then once this is all dry enough that you can pack it into a ball or whatever, then I will start to mix it. And I've got some store-bought clay that I'm going to mix a little bit of that in with it. I bought it to hopefully help with shrinkage. I haven't noticed that it's helped a whole lot, but it's probably helping me a little bit. It's definitely helping with my plasticity quite a bit. So I kind of like that, but I'm not mixing a whole lot in with it. I'm just doing about 20% or so. Like I say, just to help my wild clay, because it is kind of lacking. Anyway, so this has got some more drying to do, but I'm just showing you how much I've got on the board now. All right, so this has been drying for a few days now. I started this whole process for this batch with 2 5-gallon buckets of clay or of dirt from the backyard after removing all the rocks and gravel. This is what I'm left with after it's dried. I actually had processed some before I got to this, just because my bucket was getting too full. I only had 2 buckets to work with, so it was kind of a trick to get it all done. But anyway, I went ahead and pulled out from the bottom of it what I could, and went ahead and processed some early so that I could keep using my bucket. And this is everything else. Another thing that I did is I bought some clay from Hobby Lobby. I mixed a little bit in with this. I'm going to do the same for this. It helps with the plasticity of it. I don't know what else it helps with, but this is pretty poor clay. And it just, it feels better, definitely, with this stuff in it. I was hoping it would help with the cracking a little bit, but I've got the cracking down to where it's not terrible, so long as I'm able to slow the drying down pretty good. It gets pretty bad on big things and things that I can't, put inside of a container or something to slow the drying down. But anyway, I guess the first thing I'm going to do is just slice off a couple pieces of this. I'm going to break this up into thirds, so I'm breaking my clay up into thirds also. What I'm going to put into it. I'm not adding a whole lot, like I say. That'll be fine. I'm going to try to intermix all this stuff so that it's all even in the end. So the exact quantity isn't terribly important, I don't think. That probably leaves about half of what, maybe a little less than half, but we're going to say half. I spent $20 on that whole 25-pound block of clay. So after removing this, we're going to say that I've got $10 wrapped up in what essentially started out as 2 5-gallon buckets of dirt. I'm adding about $10 worth of store-bought clay to that. And it's going to be, this is probably 60 pounds right here. It's still a little wet, but it's not going to lose a whole lot of weight from this point. I didn't weigh it, I'm just guessing. It's pretty heavy. There's probably another 20 to 30 pounds, probably 20 pounds in that little bucket. So maybe 80 pounds or so. And then, I don't know, another 5 pounds there probably. Okay, so I'm gonna there, and maybe there, and I'm gonna try. I just cleared out this space in my garage. It's still not totally cleared out, but I've been working in the house, which my wife has not been very happy about. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this onto this piece of insulation. Alright. It is still pretty wet. So I may not be quite ready to start mixing yet. It's still pretty wet. But I think I can get another one of these and get this other chunk moved off the side here. Alright, get this other one on here. Okay, now let's go ahead and put these. Okay, so we'll mix all these together here in a little bit. I'm gonna give them a little more time to dry. Like I say, they're still just a little wet. Maybe I'll bring that fan out here. So when I'm ready to do that, then I'll turn this back on. Alright, this is still pretty wet, but I'm going to give it a shot. Turn my board around so that it doesn't want to keep sliding back and forth on me. It's a good tight fit this way. So it's like I said, pretty wet still. Take this, but at least I can flip it over and get some fresh clay exposed. This stuff takes forever to dry, and it is ice cold now that it's been out in this cold garage. So that's nice. That's going to slow things down too. Alright, so I'm going to leave this fan going for a while. Okay, I got my board screwed down now, so there shouldn't be any issues with it moving around on me like it had been either. Yeah, so it's got kind of crusty on the top. That's probably fine. I was having a lot of problems with it being real gooey still on the inside. As soon as I'd start messing with it, then it would get real gooey. So a little extra dry is alright. You see how much easier it is to work with now that it's not just sticking right to the board. It is still moist enough, I think, once I get it worked in a little bit. It's starting to stick a little bit. That's alright. You can roll it too. You don't have to just drop it. And it is ice cold. Whew. Now the idea is to get this as mixed together as you can. So, you know, just throwing it down and stuff, that's spreading everything out. Once you get it spread out, then you fold it over and then keep doing it, and it just keeps spreading it out and then lapping it back over. And eventually everything is completely evenly distributed in there. So it doesn't matter if you're rolling it or throwing it. Anything that you're doing is going to be spreading everything out, making it bigger. And then eventually you can fold it over, you can cut it in half and stack it. It doesn't matter as far as I could tell. I don't know if you can see, but there's some lighter spots in it. That's that store-bought clay. That's another thing that you know I'm looking for, is I don't want to see any of that showing up anymore once this is fully mixed. It should all be an even color. There shouldn't be any variations. So there's a big gray streak right there. that time. Clean my board. Yeah. Sticky. I'm still seeing a little bit of splotchy white throughout it, but it is looking better. It's not quite there yet. Wires. I guess I couldn't even get to this workbench a week ago, so at least I got a little space now. There's some white. Essentially, I'm making layer upon layer upon layer by continually spreading this out and then folding it over. I'm making more and more layers. And I don't. Some guys will tell you how many layers you need. They've done all the math. I don't know. Number one, I'm not an expert yet, but I'm just looking for the color consistency, and once I achieve that, I assume it's good enough. Now, if I didn't have this gray clay in there, then I'd probably call it good enough at this point, honestly, because everything is adhering to one another, or to itself, real good. It all feels consistent. It doesn't feel, wet in one spot and dry in another. It all feels very consistent as far as moisture at this point. Whereas, this stuff is hard on the outside and it's gooey down here on the bottom. So definitely this is coming along. It's getting there. We're almost there.